Hi and welcome to AngelsCraftz. This is my debut video, and as you can see I am getting out the cauldron mould from Let's Resin. Look at the detail on that. Isn't it just stunning? So cool. Such a great Halloween item. I am going to be making this. We'll be using the Toonfish colours from Tiny Turner, and you can buy these at toonfish.com. I am going to use the rose gold, green and the purple magenta. I see these colours come in a pack of 6, and I quite like the idea of putting the rose gold on the lid, and the purple magenta I'm going to use for the main body of the cauldron itself. I'm going to use this small fluffy brush to get the the rose gold pigment into the lid. It looks kind of dark bronze in the video, but it's not. I'll start dusting the lid so that I can get in around all the bubbles and around the edges so that I don't have any blank spots. I'll continue to do this for, oh, there you go, I just knocked a blooming pot over. Oh, that's awesome, but my resin bottle, by the looks of it, saved it. Well, some of it anyway. Just clean that up. I will pick up the rest. I'll scoop some into the lid so that I can have some of it back because this stuff's really good stuff and I don't want to waste anything. I will clear up the rest later and just try and put some of it back into the jar and then some of it onto the lid so that I can then continue dusting. If I do keep going quiet, I do apologise. I'm kind of nervous about this. This is the first time. I've been doing resin now for 3 years. Still not that great at it, but I keep persevering because one day I will have some awesome pieces. Maybe. We'll see. But I'm just brushing down into that deep part because that's like a stick poking out of the bubbles. Once it's demolded, you'll see that. I want to try and make sure all the powder's fully immersed into everything. I'm shaking it out onto this piece of paper so that I can put it back into the jar because I don't want to waste any of it. It doesn't look like there's a lot there, but there is a bit. You just can't quite see it so much on the bit of paper. I'm going to get my big fat fluffy brush and give it a good rub so make sure it's burnished in properly. And shake off any excess that I can so that I can keep it. Oh, now put it back in the jar. Oh, no, don't put it in the mould. Don't put it in the mould. Put it in the jar. Silly woman, what you like? Okay, dokie. If I do have long periods of quiet, it's just so I'm not waffling too much. I don't want to bore people. And I'll put the lid back in this and put it out the road so I don't knock it over again, and because I don't want to lose anything. And give this another little burnish round about. Such a nice colour, that one. And you can see there at the top by my finger the little pokey bit that's actually the stick. Just giving it a quick blow, make sure there's no excess powder on it. And now I'm going to turn the cauldron part inside out so that I can get a better brush on it. It's much easier to brush that way than it is if it was round the other. Getting the brush down in there would be a bit tight, but as you can see, this detail is so cool. It looks nice. Just making sure that it's all nice and ready. Oh, just making sure I've got no glitter on my hands so that I can put my hand in safely without worrying about getting glitter rubbed all over it. Oh, silly woman, you should open the jar of powder before you put your hand in it. At least that way you can dust. This is the purple magenta. These colours were picked by Wendy at AngelsCraftz for Emma at the Tiny Turner. I got these colours about 4 weeks ago when they were released, but I decided I was keeping them so that I could use them in my very first video. Now I've decided to use a bit of a fatter brush than the smaller one, so it'll cover more area quicker so that I can get it done. I'm going to just colour in this main area on the what would be the inside of the jar, and then I will fast forward a bit so that you don't have to be bored. And just look at that purple colour shift. It throws out sort of rainbow colours in the light. It's absolutely stunning. I just love the way that it is. It's such a bright purple, and as you're turning it in the light you can see the rainbow colours. I won't need to use my big fat fluffy brush this time on this because this brush is pretty fluffy and it's doing a good job of burnishing as well. And once I've done this part, I'll do the top part, which would be the bottom of the inside, and then I can speed it up for you guys, like I said, so you don't have to listen to me waffling like an idiot. There's probably gonna be quite a few ahs and ums and ahs through this because as I said, this is my first time doing a video and my first ever voiceover, so I don't know what I'm saying. Be careful when you're doing your mould like this because bending it, you probably really shouldn't be bending it like this. Not on a regular basis anyway, because it could end up damaging your mould. Oh, look at that shine, isn't it stunning? There we go. And whoa, I wish I really worked this fast. If I could work this fast, I'd get my housework done within half an hour, and then I'd have the rest of the day doing my videos. But we'll see how this one goes first before we decide whether we're doing more or not. I love the way the powders pick up that pentagram. For a minute there I couldn't remember what it was called. Spin it round, spin it round. It's so much. It seems to be so much dusting, but it actually isn't really that long. And that was me just having a little peek at the bottle so that I could show you what resin I'm going to be using. I'm using the Let's Resin. No, I'm not. I'm using the Tea Expert 1:1 crystal clear resin. I know it says I wasn't going to use the fat fluffy brush, but I decided just a quick little fluff over. And I will get to making the resin in a second. Oh, there we go. Quick jump cut. Got my gloves on. Now, this is one of my larger jugs, and that's what I'm going to mix up my resin in. I spotted a little bit of black glitter, and I was just trying to get it out, but I found another 3 pieces, so it takes me a minute just to clear them out, because I can't find my sellotape to dab them out with the sellotape. Here we go. Happy now. Oh, hey, it was me just having a quick peek to see that there was none left in there. Now I'm going to have a quick look on the mould to see how much this mould takes. The Let's Resin moulds are great. Oh, wait a minute, no, that says Let's Resin. Where's the... oh, there it is, down the bottom. The Let's Resin moulds all come with the volume of resin that you require on them, which is better than some of the cheap moulds that you can get for Timu and a lot of other moulds, because it's always good to know how much resin you need. The lid takes 1.6 fluid ounces, and once I finish turning this inside out, back the right way even, that one says it takes 9 fluid ounces. So 9 fluid ounces and 1.6, that will give me 10.6 fluid ounces required. But this jar doesn't say 11. It goes up in increments of 2, so the closest is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off 6 and 12 and make up 12 fluid ounces. 12 fluid ounces will be too much, but I keep moulds to the side always so that I have something there in case I make too much resin. And this is me just marking off where the 6 is and where the 12 is, so that I can make sure I've got the right measurements. And as if by magic, my resin will be in the jar. Well, not quite yet, but in a minute. I'll skip all the stirring stuff. And I know pouring this is part A, and it looks like a lot from this angle, but it's not. It's honestly 6 ounces. Quick wee squeeze, and then another wee squeeze, and then we'll stop to have a look. There we go. It's just about 6 ounces. Get another little drizzle. There we go. That's 6. And that's me just showing you part A, epoxy resin. For Tea Expert, I use Tea Expert a fair bit. That and Let's Resin are two of my favourite resins. And once I've poured part B, which seems to go a lot quicker than part A, I will speed it up so that you don't have to sit and watch the mixing part. But when you're mixing, always make sure you scrape your sides and scrape the bottom so that you are getting a full complete mix. Don't know why I needed to show you part B again, but you know what I'm using. I'm just looking for something. Can't remember what I was looking for. This video was done a couple of days ago. This is me just getting round to the voice part. And quick jump to me having mixed. I'm now going to pour a little bit of the Deco black pigment paste into the jar and give that a mix. I saw Wendy at AngelsCraftz doing this. It's supposed to help make it blend in through your resin better. I don't know if it's blend in, just mixed in better anyway. Giving it a good little stir through so that it's all nicely mixed, and then a little scrape in my tool. I'll put the tool over on this side and then I'll slowly start pouring it into the big jug once I decide to stop scraping. I'll just bring this over so you can see it better. Not that you couldn't see it anyway, but and giving it a stir it slowly to start with, and then scrape some more out the cup, and then giving it more of a stir, and then I'll scrape the sides as well, and that way I know I'm getting all that pigment paste mixed through properly. And I'll just scrape out the rest of the cup now. Scrape a stick. Get it all in there because we don't want to waste any resin. If you can hear a small buzzy noise in the background, that's my fan that's on in the living room. It's not as hot as it was, but it's still quite warm in the house. Right, we'll pop that over there beside everything else. Hey, a wee tiny peek of my heat on the black resin there. Just giving it another little stir. Scraping my sides, scraping my bottom. That doesn't sound wrong, does it? And scraping the spatula. I was thinking to start with my lid, but I'll start with the jar instead, because while that's poured a little, I can then go round the sides at the bottom and give it some squidgy widgy, as Steve McDonald would say. That way I can dislodge any bubbles out of my, what would be the top of the jar, but the bottom at the minute. And I'm going to pour real slowly over the lid because it's got all those little bubbles, and I don't want to end up with bubbles in my bubbles. While that settles itself into the lid, I'm Just give it a little squidgy on that long stick so that there's no bubbles in it, I hope. Oh, it just took it off camera. That was a bit silly. Don't know why. Keep giving that bit a bit squidgy. As you can see, it's moving around. Give a little bouncy bouncy, just to help dislodge any bubbles that are stuck. I'm now going to give it a good squeeze round about the bottom. Got to squeeze the bottom, just to make sure that I don't have any bubbles in there. And give the little skulls a squeeze so that they don't get any trap bubbles in them, because places like that are good for trapping bubbles. I do a lot of squidgying and squeezing and bouncing. Oh no. Well, as you can see, I'm now topping up the lid so that it is just slightly domed. But for this angle you can't see that. I'll move that over to the side. Give it another little tappy. I'll fill up the cauldron a bit more so that I can then give it some more squeezies. I'm doing a cauldron just now because I want to see what this mould looks like, because I have a craft fair coming up in October. I need stock for my stall, and I really wanted to get this one done so I could see what it looked like. So that's why I ended up doing a sort of a very late summer ween, if you would call it. Squeezing round those skulls again. Very particularly don't want to have bubbles in that. Bit of tippy whippy, slappy slap, and then some bouncy bouncy. And now to finish topping it up, quick squeeze on that side. I thought I saw some bubbles down the bottom, but it wasn't. It was just the way I was looking at it. Just an extra squeeze for luck. Now I know I've got too much resin, and you will see the extras before the demold, but you won't see me putting the glitter and all that in them and pouring them. Try to get the video to a decent length. Oh, if you can hear little squeaky noises, that's just the dog. She's sitting on my lap and I moved her and she didn't want to move, so she was throwing a little hissy fit. Well, that's those poured nicely, and I'll speed through just a little bit, me running my microbrush, my little silicone tool round the edges and in those little bubble bits so that I can dislodge whatever bubbles is there. Which is weird to say. Try to dislodge the bubbles from the bubbles. And I go down the ledge just to make sure I don't end up with bubbles underneath there. There we go, quick jump cut. This is me just finished pouring the extras. I used the silver laser mixed chunky fine cut glitter that I bought on Temu. Temu seems to be the place all crafters seem to end up going eventually, and then it becomes a habit. But this little cat mould, this is the third time I've bought this mould. The first two times I bought it from Amazon, and I ended up getting really teeny tiny cats. And then I went to Temu, found it again, and got teeny tiny cats. That's us ready now for demold. So the third time I went back to the original video on Nerd Goblin Art's channel, the lovely Lula over there, and found, she called them chopstick holders. So I went back onto Amazon and bought them, and third time lucky, they came a nice size, the proper size. This is the Puffy Hearts mould. That little jump cut there was my husband chapping on the door to see if I was going to do my editing. Not my editing, my demoulding. So the Puffy Heart mould I got from Julie Cuts over at Pouring Your Heart Out. Excuse me. And I do use this Puffy Heart mould for a lot of extras. I always use the Puffy Heart mould and then whatever else is lying around. I love the way that the glitter hasn't sank all the way down to the bottom without using the Daniel Cooper little cheat of putting PVA glue in it. Now this little cat, I love the way the colour has came out on the bottom. It's also sparkly, and on the top it's also sparkly, and it's got this really fine little middle bit that's only got fine glitter in it, so it looks like a glittery cat sandwich type thing. As a chopstick holder, look, it even holds your little silicone tools. I have one of these now that I use for my chopsticks because I love using chopsticks when I've got Chinese. And that's me just saying just how tiny the other little cats were that I bought. They are like nice cats, but they were so tiny, tiny, tiny. Right, time to demold the lid. We'll look for bubbles and all that stuff, but first time demoulding it, very careful, very cautious. There's a lot of glitter around the top of that lid on the mould itself, and I am being so careful because I don't want to rip the mould. Not on first demold. Not that I want to rip the mould at all, because I don't want to have to replace it. But come on, pull just a little bit. There we go. Oh, and would you look at that? There's a tiny bubble right on the end of the stick. I got glitter on my hand from the mould. I love the way that shines. It's amazing how that rose gold green makes it look like it's a bubbly, creepy kind of potion in there. Because the green is sort of feel like a little bit of a toxic-y coloured green, and it makes it look like a really wild potion that's going on in there. I absolutely love it. Yeah, probably hear a little bit heavy breathing and groaning. That's still the dog. She's still up in my arms, groaning because she's not comfortable on the couch. Here we go, time to demold the big part. Now I tend to use this technique when I'm demolding really tall things or round things where I sort of fold it over a little bit and roll it. It's good when it works, but when you're halfway down and you move your hand the wrong way and it pings back, it's a pest. That was me just reaching over because I was going to cheat and put some isopropyl down the sides so that it would loosen off. But I am determined. I'm getting this off myself. Yeah, here we go for another try. Hold a bit. Pull. Will she manage? Come on. God, it's like watching a TV series here, isn't it? You're on the edge of your seat. Will she do it? Won't she? Can she? There we go. Oh, and it flipped. Put it up against the body. Pull. I can do it. Oh, look at that purple. There we go. We're rolling it. We're rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Rawhide. Oops. Shh. Shouldn't be singing. Scare people away. As if I've not bored people to sleep by now. And a gentle twist to pop it out. Now, is it me or does that thing look slightly out of shape at the top? It looks just slightly oval rather than round. Got to flip the mould back in the right way because you don't want to leave it the wrong way around. Keep your moulds nice and safe. Look at that purple shine. Those little rainbow rings look like little eyes staring at you. Oh, I got some bubbles. Ah, 3 or 4 little micro bubbles in that. Nope. Skull's perfect. That side's perfect. No bubbles. Why is it we resin crafters always seem to enjoy rubbing our finger around our makes? Yep. 3 or 4 little micro bubbles in one of the pentagrams, but the rest of it's looking pretty good. I swear that lid's got a little bevel in it. Oh look, I must have dislodged a little bit of powder, or I didn't powder that bit right there, right at the very bottom. But other than the bubbles, it's looking really good. Decided that I am gonna colour the skulls silver and maybe red for the pentagram. Nah, changed my mind. I think we'll go with a goldy bronze colour. Nah, changed my mind again. It's a woman's prerogative to say. But we have golden shine. Yeah, I can see that golden shine. We'll use that on the pentagrams. I just about put the silver away. How clever of me. I'm hoping that this golden shiny thing sort of makes the pot part sort of blend with the bubbles. So I'll do a little highlight in the inner part of the... no I won't. It doesn't seem to be sticking. You can barely see that at all. Nope. Let's get another one. I'll get the gold one the same as the silver. Now, I missed the name in that, so I can't tell you what it was. And then I'll pop that in the central reservation part of the pentagram. If I haven't bored you to tears yet, and you haven't already left, please like, subscribe, share if you want to. And what I'll do is I'll just do this little part and then I'll speed you forward so I definitely don't bore you to tears. And there we go. What colour would you have done your pentagrams? Would you have done silver, gold, or would you have maybe done something different? Oh, made a little mess. Better get the micro brushes out. A little dab in the alcohol and get it as quick as you can because it cleans off better when you get it straight away. Now that's highlighted that pentagram so well, and it goes with the colours of the cauldron. The cauldron even. I was just having a little look at these skulls, debating, am I going to or am I not going to highlight them? I like the way that has highlighted the pentagram nicely. If you look closely, it's also highlighted the 3 or 4 little bubbles as well. So I'm still thinking about it at this point, whether I am or am not gonna, highlight in silver those. Were they handles? Would you say they're pot handles for lifting your cauldron? I don't know. Look at that rainbow shine. That's me admiring the rainbow shine again. There's red and blue and green and gold and yellow. It just looks so wild. Time to clean up a bit more mess. Once it's all cleaned up, I'll get the lid on it. Yeah, it's looking good. Missed a bit. Typical. I would just have to miss a bit. There we go. Back to this side, have a quick look. Oh, that gold really highlights those bubbles in that corner. Time to put the lid on. And I was right. The pot is out of shape at the bottom. Top. I gotta squeeze it a bit to try and get that lid in there. It takes me a few minutes, but I finally managed to squeeze it slightly into shape and get it in, but it's not quite sitting right. Oh, there you go. Mr. Waspy, who invaded my bedroom, just made his debut in my debut video. I'll pause for just a little second while I open the window. Oh no, I don't pause. I just go and open the window. I open the window and tell him to leave. I actually tell him nicely to leave, and he actually leaves. It's me trying to fiddle with the lid again because it's not sitting right. It is clean up time. Move the puffy hearts out the road. I use these puffy hearts as necklaces and pocket hugs. I have a stash of pocket hugs, and they sell quite well at craft fairs and stuff. And once my website's doing a little, I'll maybe start popping some into orders so that it's a little freebie, or one of the little cats, or something like that. I'm determined. I'm trying to get that bit of glitter off that mould. Not the mould, the mat. But you can't really see it. But it's not coming off. And neither's that little bit of black resin. Excuse me. I do eventually manage to fix the lid. The lid's perfect, but the gap for the lid to go into isn't. But I do manage to fix it, so it is now sitting perfectly. But that's later. But that is everything for my first video, and all I can say is thank you so much for watching and for joining me on my debut. And thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share. There are no glamour shots because my poor husband spent a long time trying to get this video together, but he couldn't manage to attach the glamour shots at the end because for some reason the editor kept trying to stick them in the middle somewhere. So big shout out to my wonderful husband for editing this and putting up with this entire week of trying to get this video done. And thank you so much for being here. And if you survived to the end, woohoo! Yay me! Yay you! You poor thing. I just can't stop looking at this thing. What is it about us crafters? And you can hear the dog again. She's just being a little terror. Yep, I'm going to put a rope on one of these hearts, and I will put the other two on the hugs tickets. But as I says, thank you so much for being here, and it has been a pleasure, and I hope I haven't bored you to death. Please, as I says, like and subscribe and share and comment. Tell me in the comments whether you would have highlighted the skulls on the sides or whether you would have left them the same. But that's all for me for now. So, bye bye. Thank you so much. And bye again.